South Asia Research Center, SARC. I am the MC for the conference today and tomorrow. It is our honor to welcome His Excellency Sanjay Verma, Indian Ambassador to Japan, as well as distinguished panelists and participants from all over the world here with us. I hope all of you enjoy this very special occasion. Before we begin the opening event, I would like to make an announcement as this is an online event. I have two announcements to make. One, if in trouble, please send a chat message to anyone who has SARC staff written in front of their names. Two, this conference will be recorded. So without further ado, let us begin. Firstly, we will have welcome address by Professor Yoshihisa Baba, President of Soka University.
Greeting from Soka University to every conference participant. Greeting to those who are watching this event on webinar. Greeting to all of you who are listening to us now online. I'm pleased to welcome the participants from different parts of the world, especially from India, Japan, United States, the United Kingdom, Bangladesh, Singapore, and Turkey. This is our very first international conference organized by the South Asia Research Center. Many congratulations on holding this conference. The South Asia Research Center opened last year in July. Soon it became the hub of research and academic exchanges between Japan and South Asia. For the opening ceremony of the center, we had the honor of welcoming His Excellency Sanjay Kumar Verma, the Indian Ambassador to Japan. We received words of encouragement from him. Once again, we are delighted to have His Excellency deliver the keynote address at our conference. On behalf of all faculty, staff, and students, I would like to my deepest gratitude to Ambassador Verma for taking time despite his demanding schedule. We have the video recorded keynote address from His Excellency later on. The two-day international conference is held under the theme Japan South Asia Connections on Economy, Health, and Education. We have 50 university teachers, business professionals, entrepreneurs, research scholars, and graduate students gathered during the event. I once again wish to express my appreciation to all participants working so hard to make the conference successful. We hope that conference will become a platform to exchange ideas on pressing problems of our time. I also hope new avenues of growth will emerge in economy, health, and education between Japan and South Asia. As the pandemic rages around the world, we will use our Soka philosophy to change poison into medicine. Soka University will celebrate its 50th anniversary in 2021 next year. Under the founding principles, which founder Ikeda has given us, we are nurturing students become responsible global citizens so that they can find the seeds of new learning and build a fortress of peace. We wish to make Soka University a global hub for humanistic education, and I am sure that this conference will help to promote this objective. At last, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all members of South Asian Research Center, faculty, staff, and chair panelists for working hard to make this event successful. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, President Baba, for your encouraging comments. Now, our chief guest, His Excellency Sanjay Verma, Indian Ambassador to Japan, will deliver a keynote address to the conference.
President of Soka University, Mr. Yoshihisa Baba, Professor Ruiho Tadaka, Professor Mukesh Williams, distinguished panelists, participants, ladies and gentlemen. It gives me immense pleasure to deliver the keynote address at the first South Asia Research Center International Conference on Japan-South Asia connections on economy, health, and education. I congratulate the organizers for bringing together such a distinguished panel of experts that will be reviewing a large number of abstracts on the potential of Japan-South Asia partnership. I was honored to have the opportunity to inaugurate the center on July 16, 2019. That is much before COVID-19 struck us. I'm happy to see that in a year's time, under the guidance of Professor Mukesh Williams and others, the center has performed 15 events, from lectures to symposia to webinars, and now an international conference. I'm given to believe that the presenters in the international conference are from different parts of the world, which includes India, Bangladesh, Singapore, the United Kingdom, the United States of America, Japan, and Turkey. I wish to thank each one of you for joining and contributing to strengthening this partnership. Needless to say that Indian Embassy and the people of India will always support such efforts which would eventually promote South Asia-Japan cooperation with India as one of the focus areas. The Indian Embassy had contributed with close to 100 books on India to start this center library, and I'm given to believe that the students are using the books to understand India and Japan partnership, not the modern one only, but also the cultural linkages and the ancient partnership between our two countries. The COVID-19 pandemic has caused major disruptions in the global and regional supply chain systems, requiring a complete diversification of business and economic strategies. Businesses are gradually moving from having a focus on risk management to embracing new models of productivity and innovation. Post-COVID-19 era is going to witness innovation in the form of co-creation, co-innovation, and co-production. That will be the key factors of the new normal post-COVID-19 all over the world. Japan does enjoy a peaceful, positive, and symbiotic relationship with all South Asian countries. It is playing a very important role in Asia and is keen to increase its engagement with South Asian countries. It has been one of the largest donors of official development assistance and one of the leading investors in India and other countries of the region. South Asia provides Japan not only with a large market, but also with skilled and talented human and material resources. However, India and Japan have together developed a remarkable relationship that is the cornerstone of Japan-South Asia engagement. India and Japan today share a strong bond and linkages that go back to the 8th century AD. While the foundation of India-Japan Global Partnership was laid in the year 2000, it was during the visit of Prime Minister Narendra Modi to Japan in the year 2014 that India and Japan elevated their bilateral relationship to a special, strategic and global partnership. A unique relationship which does not have any parallel in the world. There is a broad convergence of a strategic outlook between India and Japan that is driven by geopolitical developments in the region and globe. India offers Japan a multidimensional interest with its economic, commercial and demographic dividends. India's Indo-Pacific concept and the recent Indo-Pacific Oceans initiatives and Japan's free and open Indo-Pacific are based on very much similar principles and objectives. They are synergistic and complementary to each other. Both countries have struck a common chord of closer strategic cooperation that is ultimately geared to develop a peaceful and sustainable world based on democratic principles and a free, open and inclusive Indo-Pacific underpinned by a strong rule-based world order and global trade. Connectivity becomes an extremely important paradigm of the entire process and initiative. Taking advantage of the time that I have been given to speak, I would like to identify the scope and depth of India-Japan bilateral cooperation. Before that, I would like to share the canvas of emerging India in the COVID-19 situation. The government of India has taken several steps in response to COVID-19 pandemic, including fiscal, monetary and relief packages. The sum total of all the economic relief and stimuli measures, including those announced since the very beginning of the lockdown, amounts to close to 10% of India's GDP. For a developing country like India, setting aside 10% of its GDP just to fight one particular cause is quite substantive. These measures are broad-based and cover every section of the Indian economy, including small farmers, labor, micro, small and medium enterprises, middle class, migrant laborers, startups, small businesses, healthcare, medical equipment, housing, education, amongst many, many others. A big boost has been provided to private sector participation in 8 premier sectors, including coal, minerals, defense production, civil aviation, power distribution, social infrastructure, space, and atomic energy. India has adopted a unique approach posed by the COVID-19 pandemic. During this pandemic, we extended medical aid, personnel, and training to the personnel of the host countries to approximately 150 countries. Our flights of returning nationals carried our neighbors as well. We have more than 250,000 Indians coming home from the globe under Vande Bharat mission launched by the Government of India. Our financial support extended to our neighbors as well. Our relief and stimuli packages for the poor and small businesses tell a very different tale of inclusiveness in the Indian economy and the Indian society. We have also taken up this opportunity to reform some of the structural elements to improve productivity of the economy and the prosperity of the people. In shaping the response to COVID-19, Prime Minister Modi has a vision of a self-reliant India, which is called Atmanirbhar Bharat in Hindi, translated roughly as self-sustaining and resilient India. This is not to be done by isolating India from the world, but by building domestic capacities which were not there earlier, so that India can emerge as the nerve center of the global value supply chain. This particular mission takes into account the largely untapped domestic potential and the ever-growing domestic demand, which are the two key driving forces for the Indian economy, and builds on them to provide a new strategic roadmap for the growth of India's agriculture, manufacturing and services sectors. We are committed to doubling farmers' income in India, which is a large number of people in the Indian population. We believe that given its size, capacities and ambitions, India has to be a major factor in the post-pandemic global revival. Today, our goal is not just to rebuild, but making growth environmentally and socially sustainable and friendly. India received around $70 billion from institutional investors in a year and a half between January 2019 and July 2020. This is almost equal to the amount which we received in 4 years' time between 2013 and 2017. With focus to boost the Make in India campaign and in the interest of the security enhancement, India has recently also raised the foreign direct investment limit in the defense sector up to 74%. This has gained traction amongst many of the global investors to come look at India and explore the possibilities of having better convergence with the Indian policies. India is constantly trying to improve its foreign direct investment ecosystem, making today it one of the most liberal foreign direct investment regimes in the world. The continuing confidence of the global investor community in India is evident by the fact that foreign direct investment in India went up by 20% in the year 2019, when the global FDI inflows all over the world fell by 1%. In the 6 months of this year, India has already received more than $20 billion from across the globe as foreign direct investment. Today, Japan stands tall as the fourth largest source of foreign direct investment, with cumulative investment from April 2000 to June 2020 of approximately $34 billion. This is also the time when COVID-19 has been at peak globally. This tells a lot about the confidence that Japan has shown in the Indian regulatory framework, the Indian businesses, the Indian talent of the human resources, and overall the Indian ecosystem. At the initiative of India, South Asia Association of Countries established a voluntary SARC COVID fund, which accumulated a sum of $21.8 million with a pool of contribution from 7 member countries, with India contributing $10 million while raising the fund. Japan's interest in India is increasing due to a variety of reasons, including India's big and growing market and its resources, especially the human resources. India has been ranked as one of the most attractive investment destinations in recent years' survey of Japanese manufacturing companies conducted by the Japan Bank for International Cooperation. The government of Japan, to further augment bilateral trade between India and Japan, has invited Indian companies to explore business opportunities in manufacturing and healthcare sectors under the new Society 5.0 initiative. Society 5.0 aims to address various social challenges arising due to the acute human resources shortage and the aging society in Japan through adoption of the new age technologies such as Industry 4.0, including but not limited to artificial intelligence, Internet of Things, big data, data mining, data analytics, robotics, etc. Similar to Japan's Society 5.0, India also has flagship programs like Digital India, Smart City, and Startup India to promote ease of living with focus on next generation technologies. In view of these complementarities and convergences, Memorandum of Cooperation on India-Japan Digital Partnership has already been established. It was in 2018 that the leaders of the two countries saw to it that such a partnership is promulgated to take advantage of our own ecosystems and the talented human resource pool. It envisages cooperation in 6 sub-areas: startup initiative, corporate partnership, electronic and software development promotion, digital talent exchange, research and development cooperation, and security-related strategic cooperation. Focus of India-Japan commerce and economic relations is extended into several key sectors, including automotive, finance, telecommunications, chemicals, food processing, medical devices and pharmaceuticals, electronic system design and manufacturing, and consumer goods industry. There is a strong complementarity and convergence between India and Japan in the startup ecosystem. The Government of India launched its flagship program and policy of Startup India in 2016 with the sole objective of promoting support to the talented human resources in India, support incubation facilities, improving ease of doing business, provide fiscal incentives to those who want to take up the startup route, support in public procurement and industry academia, as well as international corporate collaboration. Startup India is focusing on encouraging local innovators and innovations. With over 38,000 registered startups, India today ranks as the 3rd largest ecosystem for startups in the world. Out of these, more than 10,000 are tech startups. There is tremendous potential in collaboration, especially in emerging technologies such as artificial intelligence and Internet of Things, with a trend of an increase in the number of Indian startups working in deep tech areas. There is already a number of Indian startups entering the Japanese startup ecosystem for collaborations as well as for innovation. Based on their tech strength and innovative ideas, they have been able to create ripples not only in Japan but elsewhere also in the world. Areas such as health tech, including telemedicine, edutech, robotics and automation, automotive and manufacturing supply chain, and food tech have unlimited opportunities for co-creation and co-development. For a post-coronavirus world, there is a high probability that emerging verticals such as fintech, edtech, health tech, e-commerce, and agri-tech will be in demand globally, as at present, much of the world is working remotely and many businesses and personal transactions are being done on a global scale. The global fintech market is expected to grow to $310 billion at an annual growth rate of 25% by the year 2022. Let's try to explore this possibility. Can India and Japan be a partner in exploring this large increase by the year 2022 in this particular area? India has been showing a lot of promise in the fintech area, both at the startup levels and at the corporate level. There are clear indicators that certain elements of the global fintech industry, such as contactless point of sale transactions, will continue to grow as people in the post-coronavirus world will be more aware of hygiene and hygienic practices. Our thanks go to Japanese venture capitalists and venture arms of Japanese corporate sector, which have together invested in more than 100 Indian startups, infusing a huge amount of capital, experience, market trends, as well as innovation. Startup ecosystems of both the countries are being connected through various initiatives, including some initiatives taken by various government-to-government channels as well as business-to-business channels. One such initiative is by NASSCOM Japan Venture Capital Connect program, along with METI, JETRO and other stakeholders in Japan. A private initiative which is for the creation of a fund of funds has also been launched to support India's startup ecosystem. It aims to invest in 200 plus startups through its massive network of institutional investors, conglomerates, Japanese venture capitalists, and angel venture capitalists. Japanese investors, namely Mizo Bank, Development Bank of Japan, Nippon Life, and Suzuki, have agreed to participate in the creation of the fund of funds. India has leveraged its healthcare, telemedicine research, vaccine production, diagnostics, and skilled personnel capacities to emerge as the pharmacy of the world and a healthcare net supplier to all parts of the globe. Indian pharmaceutical sector has supplied over 60% of the global demand for various vaccines, 40% of generic drugs demand in the US, and 24% of all medicines in the United Kingdom, occupying close to 20% share in the global supplies by volume. As part of Self-Reliant India mission, government has launched schemes for investment in health sector, including for manufacturing of medical equipment, APIs, medical devices, and many others. Today, our manufacturing is running on full steam. Before the pandemic, India hardly manufactured PPE kits. Today, it does not only manufacture millions of PPE kits every month, it also exports them to the countries which are in need of them. Similar situation is with the vaccine production. We are trying to ramp up the vaccine production capacity so that they are not only sufficient for Indian population but also contribute to the global good in providing vaccine to those countries which need them. Now, this opens a huge opportunity for private sector from Japan to contribute in the healthcare initiatives in India and take advantage of the market which already exists. Government schemes to encourage investment in sectors such as pharma, medical devices, and EMSD have already been in operation for some time. This has a dedicated, empowered group of senior officials. On the vaccine front, which is what the world is looking forward to after COVID-19 worries have subsided a bit, there are human trials underway for two completely indigenous developed vaccines, Covaxin and Zycovet. In addition, phase 3 clinical trials of Oxford University vaccine are also being undertaken by the Serum Institute of India, world's largest vaccine producer by volume. Indian traditional medicine system of Ayurveda and Yoga have shown their immense usefulness in managing the pandemic by boosting immunity amongst the Indian population. There are protocols which have been released by Indian Ministry of Ayush, which has helped people in safeguarding themselves from contracting and in getting infected. These protocols have shown to the people of India how to safeguard themselves from getting infected by novel coronavirus infections. We have growing exchanges in the fields of Ayurveda and Yoga in Japan. We have a very valuable stakeholder in Japan, in Kanagawa Prefecture and Shimane University, who are working together with us in exploring the possibilities of using both Ayurveda and yoga in preventive healthcare system. India and Japan have close cooperation in the field of education. As per available data with us, there are academic and research partnerships between 73 universities of Japan with around 105 universities of India. Indian and Japanese students participate in a number of exchange programs. As on December 2019, there were approximately 2,050 Indian students in top universities of Japan, such as University of Tokyo, Ritsumeikan Asia Pacific University, Kyoto University, Osaka University, University of Tsukuba, Soka University, your university, to name a few. There are close to about 670 graduate students who are doing their masters and PhD, of which about 550 of them are pursuing education in science and engineering subjects, and 230 in social sciences, with 628 in humanities, including Japanese language. India and Japan have signed a memorandum of cooperation for expansion of Japanese language education in India in 2017, which includes to double the number of teachers of Japanese language in India and expand the number of students of Japanese language degree courses in university and various institutions in India. It also aims to introduce Japanese language to schools in India. The impact of these efforts can be seen from the fact that number of students appearing for Japanese language proficiency test, JLPT, in India has increased from approximately 9,000 in the year 2014 to now 26,000 last year. The national education policy in India has paved the way for encouraging high-performing Indian universities to set up campuses in other countries. And similarly, selected universities from the world will also be able to set up their operations in India. A legislative framework facilitating such entry is under discussion, and I have no doubt in my mind that very soon it will be promulgated, and under the new legislative framework, the foreign universities will also be able to explore the possibility of depending on the Indian talented resource pool and offer their education in India. With adoption of 5G at wider scales, the penetration of tele-education or e-education are likely to become norm, and this will create various new opportunities for some sections of the society who did not have access to quality education till now. In this respect, Indian industry, academia and stakeholders have proposed an enhanced 5G standard called 5GI, also known as 5G India, based on low mobility and large cell coverage, which seeks to give preference to the coverage of wider area to cover the rural areas of the country and bridge the digital divide in India and elsewhere. This standard has already been accepted by International Telecom Union, and now we are working towards its adoption in 3GPP. India-Japan has a history of about 34 years of institutional science and technology cooperation. It was formalized through an intergovernmental agreement signed in 1985. Bilateral science and technology cooperation was further promoted in 1993 with the establishment of the India-Japan Science Council. Both countries are working together through several institutional agreements and memorandums of understanding in the area of life sciences, material sciences, high energy physics, ICT, biotechnology, healthcare, heavy ion radiotherapy, methane hydrate, robotics, alternative sources of energy, marine and earth sciences and technology, peaceful use of outer space, and many others which have been signed between the science agencies of the two countries. Recent important initiatives under bilateral cooperation framework include 3 India-Japan joint research laboratory projects in ICT covering artificial intelligence, Internet of Things and big data. These 5-year joint ventures are multi-institutional and interdisciplinary in nature, led by Indian Institute of Technology, Delhi, Indian Institute of Technology, Mumbai, and Indian Institute of Technology, Hyderabad, from India and the University of Tokyo and Kyushu University from the Japanese side. In addition to ongoing 46 projects with Japan's AIST, 23 India-Japan R&D projects on basic research in the fields of fundamental sciences, materials and system engineering, natural systems, astronomy, space, earth systems and sciences, mathematics and computational sciences have also been initiated. Till date, 277 joint projects were supported, 1,534 exchange visits of scientists have taken place from both sides, and several webinars and lectures have also taken place. These interactions have been strengthened through regular student and researcher exchanges and visits. In the areas of science and technology alone, there are academic and research partnerships between approximately Indian information technology's core competence and strengths have attracted significant investment from major countries. Japan is no exception. Many of the Japanese companies have set up their design centers in India. Many of them have been able to co-innovate and co-create technologies and processes using their Indian design centers. Government of India has given further impetus to digital economy by launching Digital India in the year 2016, promoting investment, both financial and talent, in digital infrastructure, bridging the urban-rural divide in digital domain, and digitalization of governance by launching platforms for financial inclusions such as India Stack, world's largest digital identification program, Aadhaar, platforms for e-health, e-education, e-government, government procurements, and many, many others. Digitalization of retail commerce and trade would also continue to develop. E-commerce companies in India are able to deliver things at the doorsteps of the people, even in the remote areas, and that is something which has created an excellent logistic maintenance and management ecosystem using some of the protocols and algorithms developed by the Indian startups. We hope and believe that there will be a rapid expansion of e-commerce in India and globally, with formalization of supply chain and logistics, maintenance and management systems. In conclusion, during this global pandemic, I sincerely hope that this period of crisis will bring India and Japan closer so as to forge strong and durable collaborations and explore opportunities under a new climate of business, trade and investment while combating the pandemic in a united manner. A public-private and multi-stakeholder partnership based on trust and common will is necessary to overcome these difficult times and work together with a particular focus on 4 areas: technology and innovation, diversification of regional and global supply chains, rule-based global order, and climate change. Sustainable development need inputs from all of these in order to see a better connected world, a world which is secured for all, a world which will promise and deliver growth for everyone in the region. Based on the past trends and future opportunities, we see top priority for India to enhance future investment inflow from Japan in sectors such as infrastructure, manufacturing, agriculture, food processing, startup ecosystem, fintech, and healthcare. It is my firm belief that the future of international trade and investment will be driven by process and technology innovations, creating win-win situations for all the countries in the world, particularly for India and Japan. We aim to develop India as a $1 trillion digital economy by 2025. And needless to say, that Japan is seen as a key partner in this endeavor, which will not only benefit India and Japan, but will also benefit the entire region and probably the globe. When Prime Minister Abe visited India in December 2015, Prime Minister Modi said during the visit, "One cannot think of a strategic partnership that can exercise a more profound influence on shaping the course of Asia and our interlinked ocean regions than ours. No partner has played such a decisive role in India's economic transformation as has Japan. No friend will matter more in realizing India's economic dreams than Japan. There exists unmatched public goodwill and public consensus in India for our spatial, strategic, and global partnership." These were the words of Prime Minister of India, Prime Minister of 1.4 billion people, Shri Narendra Modi. Let me wish you all the luck and success in your further deliberations today and tomorrow, and we hope that you will come out with a good compilation of the proceedings of the sessions, which will be educational, learning, and reference material for all of us and the students. Thank you very much for listening to me. Arigatou gozaimasu and namaskar.
Thank you very much, Ambassador Verma. Now that sets the rhythm of the conference. We would like now to ask our director, Professor Tanaka, to say a few words.
However, I would like to thank His Excellency Ambassador Verma for the keynote address. We established the South Asia Research Center in 2019 with the presence of Ambassador Verma at the opening ceremony, and the center, with an aim to promote research and academic exchange between Japan and South Asia, has been able to conduct multiple events since its establishment, including the international conference being held today and tomorrow. One of the founding principles of Soka University is to be the highest seat of learning for humanistic education. The founder, Daisaku Ikeda, explained humanistic education as fostering individuals who create value for their own life and for society. I'm sure that through what we have learned from today's lecture and the upcoming presentations, we will all be able to create value and contribute to society. We hope that the center can contribute toward further strengthening the bonds between South Asia and Japan in the years to come with your continued support. Thank you once again, and let's have a wonderful and meaningful conference.
Thank you very much, Professor Tanaka. The opening event will now lead you into the conference. Professor Mukesh Williams, advisor of SARC, will introduce the themes and issues connected to the conference briefly. Professor Williams.
Hello, everyone. Thank you for being here and listening to me. We heard a wonderful lecture by our ambassador, and that sets the rhythm to the conference that we are going to witness. Organizing an international conference is a ceremony of life. It introduces excitement, but tests endurance and grit. Today, 50 participants will present their analyses and solutions to the tripartite issues of economy, health, and education disrupted by the pandemic. COVID-19 has changed our immediate future. We will not do things the way we were doing since World War I. Travel will become more sophisticated. The automobile industry is shifting to electric and high-tech interiors. The restaurant industry will do more takeouts and delivery. Appetizers and desserts will need to be repackaged to make a profit. Private health care is doing well on the unhappiness of citizens. It will have to come under an expanded welfare state. The B2B pharma business is growing online. Small and medium-sized businesses are reorganizing but need government support. Stock markets are growing in the midst of the worst recession since World War II. The mortality rate of Asian minorities in Europe and America is greatly affected by the pandemic. Gender inequality threatens economy. Where are the women in the workplace, we want to know. We are developing a new work practice, a new lifestyle, a new social behavior. The magic vaccine is not going to be so magical. We need to develop a stronger immune system. Perhaps return to our grandmother's recipe. Asia must be rebooted and reset from global supply chains to an equitable education. We must know what a mask can do. We must know what is hygiene. And we must know what is social distancing to prevent a pandemic resurgence. Both in South Asia and Japan, we believe in the oneness of life and environment. Our founder, Daisaku Ikeda, says that the global problems we face today reflects our mind. We need wisdom, courage, and compassion to change the poison of the pandemic into the medicine of growth. Please be online to get the best out of your Friday and Saturday. Please be stimulated and changed. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Professor Williams. Now we will move on to the economy plenary session from 2:30 to 3:30 JST, which is in another 15 minutes. Have a great conference.